Hi, this is Bonnie, and I am still showing you some new paper from Fairy Hug's new collection, and a card that I'm going to be making with it. This one is called PollenWing, and it has, obviously, I'm going to be making a video and showing you each of the papers. But for today, I am just going to use this paper from that paper pad. And I'm also going to be using some new Fairy Hugs stamps. And some of those are, this is Rigen, R-I-G-E-N, and it's our newest dragon. And then we have a star arch. And this can be stamped in any direction or just all over the background. We also have a sentiment. And the sentiment, actually, there's another stamp that goes with this one. I wanted you to see that. And that is the rainbow arch. And they actually can be put together, stamped together, or separate. But I wanted you to see that because it also goes with the sentiment. I'm not going to be using it on this particular card. And this is look for. When it rains, look for rainbows. When it's dark, look for stars. So very simple, 3 stamps and a piece of paper. So I'll go ahead and get that set up in the stamping platform. Okay, so I have this one all set up and ready to go. And I'm going to use the dragon first and get him situated and then add the rest of these. I always try to figure out how I'm going to be setting them up, and I always use the examples that are stamped on the paper that are, the acrylic that comes with the stamps. That always helps me visualize how it will look, even though I have an idea in my head. I'm never really quite sure how that's going to work out. I am going to use, I'm trying to think if I want to use, because I wanted to color him. So I'm not really sure if I'm going to do, I think I'm going to start with Morning Mist and see what happens from there. If it's not dark enough, I am going to use the Nocturne, or I'll just stamp it a couple times with the Morning Mist. I just didn't think I want him just to be black this time. I usually add color anyway, but just to see how this works, because he's going to be standing on this mountain here, little hill. We'll see. Yeah, the center didn't get, must not have got ink there. I don't see any ink. There it goes. Yeah, I think he needs to be a little bit darker because of his feet. So I'm going to stamp him again. I might end up having to add Nocturne to it anyway. We'll see. Make sure I get the center of that this time. Okay, that looks good. He's not quite the Nocturne color, but pretty close. He looks good. All right, so for up above, I'm going to be doing the stars. Get that set back up. And you can, what's really cool about these stars is you can really stamp them in any way, any direction. It works really well. Okay. I just want to make sure I leave room for the sentiment before I add more, because I'm going to add a lot more to this, to the sky. And right now there we go. I was going to say I can't really see very well because of my camera, how to line these up. Let's see if that looks good. You can see better than I can, honestly. Okay, there we go. And for these, I am going to do the Nocturne, because I know I'm going to use the gold gel pen, the glittery one. And these are really cool because there's some stars that are solid and then some stars that are open. So you can really get 2 different looks if you want to by coloring them in one color. And then you could add the gold to the solid if you want. And that's perfect. So I need my example here a minute of how I want to put these, but I also know I got to keep my sentiment so it doesn't stamp over my sentiment. So I might just do my sentiment first. And then I'll put this back on. All right. It is, I make sure I've got this going the right way around. I've got the right one. All right. Yep. That's it. Again, it's a little bit hard for me to see to line that up. That looks, whoops, because I want it to be straight. Okay. It's harder. It's smaller, so it's a little bit harder to line it up. That looks good even with the grid there. All right, I'm going to use Nocturne. Yep, that looks like it's going to be straight to me, I think. Don't want to push too hard again because this is small, it'll blur. I think I'm going to give it a little bit more ink. And there's nothing wrong with taking your time. You don't have to be in any hurry. That's much better. Okay, now I can continue on with the stars. Let's see here. I want to make them a little bit different so they're not consistent. Yeah, we're going to go up here. Oops, I'm going to put this one up higher. You could do this any way you want to. I just didn't want mine to look symmetrical. I wanted them to look more like a sky. A little bit of a different... There, that's good. I need my, got to move that tape, I'm pretty sure. Could put it up here, not on the ink. There we go. And this is going to have to come on the side. So you can see how that can even line up and look almost like it's as one. That works good too. Oops. Forgot to put my actual stamp on there. Okay. This is really rather a quick card, and it has a really good look to it, even though it is quick. It has a lot to do with the background too, giving you a little bit of interest. That looks great. Now I'm going to have to go on the other side, and in order to do that, I'm totally going to have to untape this because it's going to hang over that side. Okay. Just move it over this time. I do want to line that up a little bit better. There we go. All right. Like I said, you can see how that can just really line up really nice with the one up above. That works really well. Okay. So it looks continuous. That's the word that I wanted to use. It kind of looks continuous. Oops. I always tend to stamp the wrong side when I'm only using half of it. I don't know why. Okay, I think that looks really good. I don't think that I need to add any more, although you could always add more stars if you wanted. So I think that's good though, and you can see how quickly that went in terms of stamping and arranging this card. Now, as you know, one of the things I like to do is color in. So I'm going to go ahead and get my pencils together and we'll get some of the things colored in. I'll be right back. Okay, so we're going to try to get some coloring done. I am starting to run out of battery power, so I hope that I don't lose that while I'm working. So I'll try to keep a close eye out for that. And so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to color the dragon's wings, and I am using, this is called Mineral Orange. And I'm just starting out and using it as shade for the dragon. So, and the next one I'm going to be using is Yellow Ochre. I wanted to give him a little bit more of a golden looking wings. But I am going to add just a tad bit of blue. And I'm going to be using non-photo blue, just to give him a little bit of color. And it's going to tie in with the stars. That's my intention. Alright, so I'm going to use the powder blue to bring it all together, I hope. Don't want to lose too much of his. This usually takes away some of the black. I don't want to lose too much of it, but I want it to tie in. Okay, now for his chest, I'm going to be using the blue. And I'm doing this rather quickly because I really don't want to run out of battery. Okay. Color some of that blue in the wings again. Okay, so that all looks pretty good. I'm going to give him, he's probably going to have the gold in his horns anyway. All right, he looks pretty good. And then we're going to go with the stars really quickly. Now, what I'm going to do for a lot of these stars is I'm just going to color them in blue. And I'm only going to show you a little bit so I don't waste my battery, so I can finish showing you in the end. So I will go through and color those with blue, and I'm going to add a little bit of darker blue to the bottom. And the blues that I'm using is a non-photo blue, and this aquamarine. And I'm going to do that through all the stars that are just an outline one. So then what I'm going to do then with the solid ones is I'm going to come back in with a Pentel sparkly pen, and I'm just going to very carefully color those in, and they will all be highlighted sparkly. And then like the small ones, I'll probably just put a dot like in the center, a little bit of a coming out from them, but not much. And that's how that will look. And you can see that's really pretty how that will look. And I'll get that all colored in. And then including this Rigen here, like I said, I'm going to go ahead and put some gold in his horns. Okay. And I'm going to also add the gold to the little bits of his tail that have those spikes on them. And there's some right there. And then just a little bit on his chest. Just add just a little bit of sparkle. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and finish doing that. I'm going to put some acrylic paint on his wings, and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have all the stars colored in, and I was just going to go ahead and add that acrylic hologram paint to the wings like I do with all my fairies and any wings. I like to add this. It is a type of glitter that does not come off. And I just wanted to say that if you wanted to make this so that this would make a great little boy's birthday card, but if you wanted it to be, and just use a different sentiment, and then if you wanted it to be a girl's, I would paint the stars and the wings with pink, and I think that would be really pretty. So you could really have it be a boy's or a girl's birthday card. I think that would be really pretty. Okay, just about done. Hopefully I'm not losing my battery power for right now. And we'll let that dry a little bit, and it'll be really pretty. So I just wanted you to see how you can have the gold glitter stars without having to do heat embossing, and you can have the two different colors. You could even add really sparkly white to the stars. That would be super pretty. Like I could have just gone over these stars with the same acrylic paint, and that would be pretty also. But again, like I said, this would make a great birthday card, and it could be for boys or girls. It just depending on what color you make your stars and your wings on your dragon. And you could also add fairies flying up above. We have all these different fairy dwellers. Those would be really pretty up above as well. So I hope you enjoyed that video. It was a little bit quicker, and it's really a fun one to make. So I'll have all of the information and supplies and everything that I use down below in the description. Thanks so much for stopping by.